Hello there, you're in time for the Handshake. This is New Vision TV. I am Lynn Komjisha. With me is Paul Busharizi. Paul, welcome back to the show.
Thank you.
While you were away, a lot happened.
Of course.
Yes. So among the a lot that happened, riots, and not just in Uganda, well, worldwide. We have seen riots over different things and over issues. Worldwide, yes. But what effects do they really have on economies? Or are we just, is it just the normal way of life?
No, I think we shouldn't take these demonstrations, protests, riots casually. Because, first of all, it doesn't take days or hours or even minutes for the news to get around anymore.
True.
So as soon as something happens, it's all over the place. And then it's even magnified because, you know, if you have a TV station or you have maybe a few 100,000 viewers, now you can have potentially have millions of viewers. That's one thing. Why that is important is because it shapes perception. So, you know, whereas we're here in the studio and there's no tear gas around and there's really no problem around where we are, to the other people on the outside, this place is going down in flames.
Yes.
Which leads to the second thing, which is of concern, is that, as a popular saying, capital is a coward. People who invest are always looking for reasons, actually, not to invest.
Oh, really?
Yes, they all. You see, in investment, one of the I think even the key thing you should be doing is what they call covering your downside. Covering your downside is covering the risk, making sure you understand all the risk and you mitigate against it. So if there ever turns up a risk that you feel uncomfortable with, for example, political action, which you as an investor have no control of, the decision to not to invest is a much easier one to be made. And that's of concern because we have a lot of stuff we need to do. You know, we need to build roads, we need to build railways, we need to build dams, we need to attract businesses which create jobs. We don't have all the money here. And therefore, many times we're going to have to rely on finances from abroad. But that is not only to say that it's the finances abroad that are afraid. Even here in Uganda, if I have my billions of shillings and I wanted to put up a mall in Shauriako, I'll be like, ish, Shauriako is where everything starts, so I'm not going to be there. And that has real impact on economies.
Yes. So what are we supposed to do?
Well, I think that I think everybody who is involved in I don't know, can you say in politics, needs to be aware of this. I think many times we behave as if this reality is not. The reality has not changed, that we're still in some olden time. And I mean, you know, the people who are now making investment decisions in the world were born maybe in the 90s. Guys are shifting billions of dollars, and the guy was born here in 1990. He doesn't know anything. You tell him stories about those days, the guy says, what are you talking about? Here I'm seeing here, real time, here on my phone, on my thing. So I think we need to be aware that that's the case. And it's no longer the case that you can even suppress information anymore. Because now, who is a journalist? Anyone with a phone is a journalist now. So,
but what can these you know, business people, because every time there's a riot, they close. There's no work. How can they prepare? I mean, we cannot know that there's going to be a riot or a demonstration of sorts. How can they prepare for such eventualities?
Well, that's a good question. I think generally, as a let me start generally as an economy. We need to create jobs. Because, you know, if you're working, you're unlikely to be out there. You're unlikely to be out there throwing stones.
What working? Because they're also working. By mere fact that they own businesses. They're also working.
No, those are the businessmen. But I'm just talking generally as an economy. Our agency, like our top priority, beyond lip service, is to create more and more jobs. You need to get people employed. You need to get people off the street, unless, of course, they're working on the street, but they should get off the street. Talking about even these recent ones in Uganda, the protests and what, I was kind of, maybe I'm trying to read too much into it, but I was impressed to see that there was little looting.
Yeah.
There was little damage of property, because that is normally done by, opportunists come and take advantage of the situation. So it'll be, I mean, time is going to tell, but it was interesting that didn't happen. And it's probably a good thing. We might not be making jobs in companies, but people are finding their way, and they understand that, look, we can't mess up our place.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the businessmen, what can they do? I mean, they just maybe invest in burglar proofing. If you know you're in a serious, dangerous place, you better invest in security measures and what.
Maybe they need to always be aware.
Yeah,
So
of course, the information. Yeah, of course, information is important. But I think it also goes back to raising the issue. If you're a businessman, you've been making money selling, trading. Maybe you need to also start thinking of maybe doing things like manufacturing. You also have to be part of the solution. You've got to create those jobs. Otherwise, you can't be rich alone on your street. If you have all those guys loitering around your street, know that anytime, it's bad news.
Oh well. I just hope, but we never learn. I was about to say, I hope we learn from these things, but we never learn.
I think we do, but the lessons maybe are slow. Like as I said, there are no broken. I didn't see broken windows and damage to properties and what. Maybe I was looking at the wrong footage. But I was impressed by that.
Oh well, I think perhaps we are learning, but anyway, something needs to be done. Thank you so much, Paul.
You're welcome.